Russell Brand and Bill Maher had a little back and forth recently over voting. Let's watch.
Russell Brand is in the news. He's a funny guy, but he just wrote a book that's more laughable, where he tells young people not to vote because the system is so awful and so dirty that the only solution is to bring it down. Not by violence, but not by voting either. No, by some sort of spiritual awakening. Oh, for fuck's sake. Fine, you know what? Don't vote, but don't dress it up as something noble or sophisticated. The fake excuses offend me. Like, politicians, they're all the same. No, you're thinking of the Lord of the Rings movies. Or, oh, it doesn't matter who wins. Well, in Florida last Tuesday, the Democrat lost the race for governor by 66,000 votes, and if he'd won, 700,000 poor Floridians would have gotten health insurance under the Obamacare Medicaid expansion that Republican governors block. So it would have mattered to them.
What do you make of that?
I don't mind if people are offended. Like, people being offended is like people are allowed to be offended. It doesn't make any difference to me. But in a way, that's a kind of a reductive presentation of what I said in my book. In my book, I said there is no point in voting because there is no one that's representing the interests of ordinary people. It's interesting how much it's provoked people. You know, like, of course there are distinctions between politicians. Some have long hair, some are women, some are slightly browner than the other ones. But what I would like is a politician that says, I will confront corporate interests on behalf of ordinary Americans. I will confront Monsanto, Pfizer, Amazon, Google on your behalf. I will close tax loopholes. I will see to it that you have proper schools, proper health, that you can live as ordinary Americans were supposed to live. As Thomas Jefferson, one of your great forefathers, said, every generation should have a revolution. Every generation should have a revolution. The last time you had a revolution in this country is because you were governed by a rich, privileged elite that taxed you and didn't represent you. It's happening again now.
It's not that Russell Brand is wrong when he says, well, we need to reform the system and we need to fix the corruption and the fact that this system is a rotting corpse which is run on billionaires' dollars and the American people don't get represented in any way, shape, or form, and it's really an oligarchy or a kleptocracy. He's not wrong about that. In fact, he's right about that. But what you need to be in favor of to really be a good citizen is step-by-step rationality. And Bill Maher, if you look at everything he says on this issue, Bill is in favor of step-by-step rationality. So, Russell, Bill's on your side when it comes to getting money out of politics. He actually talks about that all the time. In fact, when he gave $1 million to Obama, he said, as he did that, look, I wish we had a system where I don't have to do this. Let's try to fight to change the rules so that we don't have to rely on money from millionaires and billionaires to fund the politicians and then hope that our team wins because we raise more money. So he's with you on reforming the system, but that doesn't mean that you get to give yourself this pass and pretend it's intellectual to check out of the system as it exists right now. Look, there's no doubt that you're voting for the lesser of two evils when you do vote in this current system. There's no doubt about that. But, of course it's better to have the lesser of two evils. It's a matter of logic. Would you rather have the evil person who's 70% sold out to corporations and 30% of the time does decent reform, like, for example, Obamacare, a step in the right direction with healthcare? We prefer Medicare for all, but we still got a step in the right direction with Obamacare. Would you prefer the person who does a stimulus program which prevents a recession from becoming a depression and saves the economy? Would you prefer the party that more protects Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, where they've kept it the same since they've been in office? They should get credit for that. The Democrats should. And even if there eventually is a deal with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, if the Democrats are in control, if/when these programs get cut, you could bet your ass under Democratic control, it wouldn't get cut as much, which matters because I don't want Grandma Dorothy not being able to afford half of her grocery bill when if you voted for another person, maybe she'd be able to afford 75% of what she used to buy at the grocery store. So these things matter. They have real-world effects on people, Russell. So again, look, I think Bill is right. If you don't want to vote, don't fucking vote. Fine, whatever. But don't pretend like you're somehow more pure and you're above the system and you're better. Look, we get it. All fair-minded people who look at this system understand you do need to change the system. Jank over at the Young Turks works on this more than anybody else. I'm proud to be part of TYT Network as well, and I try to talk about this all the time too, where we try to do the Wolfpack Amendment, where we get money out of politics, we mandate clean elections by law, and we have the politicians actually represent us. And we ban all private donations and corporate donations and billionaire donations in the system. We're fighting for that, and we should fight for that. But that doesn't mean that until we get that, we don't partake in the system at all. Of course you should go and vote for the better candidates. And also, let's keep it real. If you have the option to vote for Elizabeth Warren, this doesn't change, Russell? Like, if somebody has the option to vote for Elizabeth Warren, because I don't know, is he an American citizen? I don't know. It's irrelevant to the conversation. But if you have a choice between Ted Cruz in the general election and Elizabeth Warren, are you still going to be making the same argument? Don't vote on principle. But Elizabeth Warren is good. If it's Bernie Sanders or Alan Grayson or somebody in the Progressive Caucus, they're good. They're way better than some Tea Party lunatic who doesn't know his ass from his elbow and wants to crash the entire American system. So Bill Maher is 100% right on this. You should vote while at the same time fighting to reform the system. Don't play this holier-than-thou game where you only focus on trying to reform the system and you poo-poo these people for voting and partaking in this oh-so-dirty system.